Is there ever a time in our lives where we crave adventure more than when we are young? Most children crave excitement and exploration, but those feelings can be difficult to replicate consistently. As a result, a lot of kids can find their education set up to be boring, and they may not give their full effort to learn. This is obviously a problem, which is part of the reason why outdoor adventure education is becoming a well-known term in the education community. The concept is certainly creating a buzz, but what is it? And how could schools begin teaching it within the curriculum? Stick around until the end of the video and find out, as we cover exactly why outdoor adventure education should be taught in school. Defining outdoor adventure education. Adventure has always been an extremely important aspect of human development. In the grand scheme of things, our experiences and moments have been our teachers for far longer than our idea of an education today. But even still, the more recent years have warped our perception of what learning can be. Going outside is now much more of a recreational activity than a learning one. And that's actually a shame. Going outside shouldn't just be considered something that you do when you want to exercise or hang out, but instead a space full of discoveries and insights that you can't get in a traditional classroom environment. Outdoor adventure education, or OAE as it is sometimes referred to, can be anything from going on a walk through a nature preserve, building a fire, learning a skill, or even just exploring in a small group. Basically, anything that causes you to have a direct, engaging learning experience can count as outdoor adventure education. And it's more about the effect that the event can have on you more than the event itself. Don't worry, we'll explain all that too. The benefits of outdoor adventure education. If we take a 5th grade student and we teach them about how bows and arrows work, that's great and it's useful, but it's not nearly as effective as having them actually aim and fire one themselves. Our brains are amazing, and they can retain plenty of information through memorization and repetition alone, but it's still not really how human beings were meant to learn knowledge. We are social beings, and we have always done our best learning through activity. In the distant past, people didn't learn to hunt animals by reading a book about it. They instead went out with someone that knew how to do it and learned by watching them. By being able to feel everything, you have a better chance of making connections and learning than just by reading about it. Outdoor adventure education is also good because it can stack upon itself pretty easily. Let's take that same 5th grade student and age them up to high school for a second. If they are in history class and they are learning about a historical event that involves archery, they are able to make personal connections to that moment. They know how much room it takes to fire an arrow, the amount of effort it takes, and how the bow feels in their hand. In that moment, the student is able to draw upon and form connections between topics and subjects that a normal student usually struggles to accomplish. This extends far past just knowing how to shoot a bow too, of course. That student can later create connections and draw upon those skills they learn to elevate above the average learner. Maybe knowing about the way a bow functions can help them with ergonomics when designing a pen, or maybe it helps them anticipate velocities for their career in sports science. In this way, OAE can help students draw connections and have insights that they wouldn't typically be able to from a pure classroom experience. What skills can students learn from OAE? Besides the tangible skills that students may learn from OAE, there are also some general ones that you would be hard-pressed to find in your typical education environment. Adventure is a great thing because it brings with it a sort of uncertainty. In school, we are almost always aware of the outcomes, and we begin to grow bored with this aspect of learning. When you are outside, there are too many variables to control in many situations. When this happens, it is really difficult to get an idea of how things will go. Learning to accept that there isn't a right or wrong answer, or that you can wind up somewhere without doing anything, are good lessons that OAE can teach a child. Luck plays a part in all of our lives, and OAE can also help children to learn a bit more about the world and how it operates in a safe and fun way. If a child sits and stares at a flower for long enough, they may eventually see a bee come over and pollinate it. That child will believe that they came across a very special and rare moment, since there is no certainty it will ever happen, no matter how long you look at the flower. That is creating a special learning environment. Outdoor adventure education also contains a small amount of risk, or at least the idea of some. This might sound a bit scary for parents, but it's a very valuable thing to learn. On top of that, children aren't always going to be able to rely on the classroom to protect them, and building mental and even physical toughness to the real world is necessary skill to prepare them for adolescence and adulthood. If you and your classroom go rock climbing outdoors, there is always the risk of a rock falling or something going awry. The truth is that rock climbing, especially on smaller walls, is absolutely safe, but the children will still enjoy the perception that maybe it isn't. Naturally, we all seek excitement, and adventure is a good way to draw children in and keep them engaged. A good way to think of OA is something like a field trip, except it should happen a whole lot more often. Just like the point of a field trip is to sort of trick your students into learning something, OA can have a very similar effect. We can teach outdoor adventure education in schools by giving the students a bit more freedom and responsibility. Even if you make them journal their experiences outside of school for extra credit, that is still a good way to encourage children to get outside, not just to have fun, but to also begin enjoying learning a bit more. What do you guys think about outdoor adventure education? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, we would greatly appreciate you liking the video since it helps us out a lot. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Bye guys, we will see you on the next video. And until then, we hope you are having your own adventures out there in nature.